Scanning your shop orders and related documents is the most powerful feature of Visual Archive. And to do that, the first thing you're going to have to do is make sure you have a scanner installed on your system. I'm going to go to Scan and then select Scanner, and I see all the scanner sources connected to my computer, and I'm going to choose the Kodak i30. That's the one I have installed on my computer. And then the next thing you're going to do is go to Scan and then Scan-Autofile. Now these are the documents. This is for scanning documents that have barcodes on them. So for example, I'm going to look at my shop order form here, and I can see at the bottom of it I've got this barcode down here, and Visual Archive is going to read that barcode and use that information to file and index the document. And it's the same. Not only shop orders can be barcoded, but also your shippers. In this case, I have the shipper number in barcode on the bottom of my shipping ticket. So now we're going to go back to Visual Archive, and one other thing I'm going to point out here is this feature at the bottom here with this checkbox that says Missing Barcodes, File with Previous Document. And I'm going to show you my scanner cam here. What that means is, here is page 1 of my shop order form. It's actually the only page, and behind that page I got my purchase order form. Well, there's no barcode on the purchase order form, but since I have that checkbox checked to file a missing barcoded document with the previous document, it's going to automatically stick that purchase order with my shop order form. And then behind that I've got my shipper with the barcode on the bottom. It's my signed shipper, and attached to that I'm going to have my certification form and also a furnace chart. So those are going to be with the shipper. And then behind that I've got one additional shop order form that I'm going to put along with it. So you don't have to file just one document at a time. You can take the whole stack, and my scanner here, up to 50 pages total, I can just stick the whole stack into the scanner, and after doing that I can press Scan. And now one by one we see the pages go through, and then as it's processing the pages, it's going to actually paste the picture of the scan here on the right side. And there it has scanned all my documents. I'm going to take this window off of here now. So what I'm going to do is close. Now I'm going to go to Tools, Document Search, and I'm going to press Search, and we pull up a list of all documents that I've scanned in the last month. And the ones on the top should be the ones we just put in. So I'm going to double click this one, and here we see our shipping ticket. And I'm going to shrink this a little bit so we can view the whole page. But here we have our signed shipping ticket, and notice that's page 1 of 3, and then below that we have our certification, and then we have our chart. And what else do we have? We've got a shop order. So here was our signed shop order, and then the purchase order that was attached behind that. So, and then finally one more, we have our other shop order, our third and final shop order that we had in the stack. So that is how you file documents with barcodes into Visual Archive. Now what happens if Visual Archive has difficulty reading a barcode? Let's go back to Scan-Autofile, and this time what I've done is I have placed a different barcode where the normal barcode should be, just to see what happens. And I press Scan, and this time I get a message saying the barcode could not be read and the value must be manually entered. So If Visual Archive sees a barcode but it can't read it, you will get this message. If you have no barcode at all, you won't get this message because it'll just file the document with the previous document. So in this case, since it saw a barcode but didn't find a match of a barcode string, what it's going to do is ask us to manually enter the value. And as we can see here, it's kind of cueing us that we have to enter an order-load. So if we can see it on the screen here, then that's fine. We can enter it, and as I can see here, it's 103183, and then the load is 1. The other thing you can do, if you have difficulty reading it, you can press View Image, and then that opens the image here and allows you to zoom in, and then here you can see 103183 and 1. So what I have to do is enter the order 183 and then dash load, which is 1. So I press those and hit OK, and then we get the message saying scanning is complete. So that's all you need to do if Visual Archive can't read a barcode. One additional item I'd like to show you is the use of barcode zones. And it's especially important to set up barcode zones if you have a shop order form that is something like this, where you have barcodes at each step. But even if you have a shop order that only has one barcode on it, it's a good idea to set up a barcode zone where you're only looking at for the barcode in a certain area on the form. And this way it can greatly speed up the barcode recognition. And also, I mean, occasionally Visual Archive could possibly pick up something that resembles a barcode in any other part of the form, and then it would slow down reading recognition of the barcode because it would have more barcodes to look at. So really, just for efficiency, it's good to set up a barcode zone. And you set up a barcode zone in the INI file. And what you do is you navigate to C:\Visual Archive, and then open your visualarchive.ini file. And when you open it, what you're going to see at the bottom is a section for the barcode target areas. And we see OCR Zone 1, and then OCR Zone 2. The OCR Zone 1 is for the shop order, and 2 is for the shipper. There's really only a few values you need to put in there. You have left, right, top, bottom, page width, and page height. Now you can use any units you want, but in my case here it's in inches. And what I'm going to do is go to my shop order form, and just to give you an idea of what these values represent, left will be your distance from on the left side, from the left side of the page to the barcode. Right is the distance from the right side of the barcode to the right side of the page. Top will be from the top of the page to the top of the barcode, and then bottom will be bottom of the page to the bottom of the barcode. So really you're just going to measure those distances with a ruler, and then you put those values into left, right, top, bottom. And you can see in my case here I put in values of 3.5 for left, 8.5 for the bottom, and then 10 for the top and 11 for the bottom, because my barcode sits really pretty much at the very bottom of the page. I'm only going to look at the bottom 1-inch strip of the page. And really you give yourself a little bit of margin just because printers don't always print in the exact same spot every time, so you want to allow, and plus barcode widths sometimes vary a little bit too depending on the values in it, so you want to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room for these values when you put them in. But the whole idea here is just to look at a smaller section of the page, just to greatly increase the speed at which barcode processing can take